In 2019, I was teaching a game design class. It was a room full of smart and talented young adults. And I asked a simple question. Who here thinks they are creative? And something really strange happened. Only 3 people slowly raised their hands. And that's when I realized something very tragic. We don't lose creativity because we grow older. We lose it because we grow fearful. In this video, I want to break down the most important lessons that I've learned from reading Creative Confidence, a book created by David and Tom Kelly. The book shows why creativity is not a gift. And I want to share what this book taught me and how it can help you to reclaim your creativity, no matter your age, career, or talent. So let's go. Somewhere inside you, there is a part that remembers being 5 years old, drawing badly, singing loudly, building strange Lego machines, and proudly showing them to the world. Then something happened. A moment, a comment, a joke that someone made, and your creative instinct, that fearless little spark, went quiet. So the first mission is to wake this spark up, fan it into a flame, and remind you what you were capable all along. Section 1. The moment creativity dies. Picture this. A second grade classroom. Kids covered in markers, glue, glitter everywhere. Chaos, creativity, joy. You say, who here is creative? And every hand shoots up so fast that chairs fall backwards. Now imagine asking the same question in a corporate meeting. Silence is probably what you get. Or maybe awkward laughter. Eyes dropping to the floor. So how did we go from fearless to fearful? So in the book, it's perfectly described. Somewhere along the way, some people had what's called creative trauma. Maybe a teacher said your drawing was wrong. Maybe the classmate laughed at your idea. Maybe your family believed creativity wasn't practical because it's better to become a lawyer or a doctor. And that was the day your creative confidence cracked. But here's the twist. It's not gone. And today we're going to wake it up. Section 2. The Invisible Wall. Let me tell you about a boy from California who wanted to learn to become a concept artist. He was thinking that he don't know how to draw. He doesn't know how to create cool ideas, and he was feared of being judged. When he came to me in 2020, I told him to do a quick sketch without thinking. And he looked at me and froze again. His response was that he is not able to do it. And I told him, you don't have to be good. You just have to start. And that changed everything for him. He slowly went from the questions in his head, what if I fail? What will people think? What if you're not talented? And slowly escaped the prison that he was in. He always thought he's not the creative type. But the most creative people aren't fearless. They're just willing to act while feeling fear. So obviously his first concepts weren't the best, but he had me, so I could give him feedback and we would make sure that he had progress. And in the progress is where he found his confidence. The first step to get out of the trauma is to start. Because once fear loses its power, the creativity returns. Section 3. Why action transforms you. In the book, they refer to a story from IDEO, the most creative company in the world. They were once hired to reinvent the hospital experience for kids. And I really like the story. The team could have spent months of planning, researching, and designing. But instead, they did something unexpected. Instead of creating a standard hospital experience, they redesigned it around the imagination. So instead of streamlining, they would create an MRI machine that looked like a pirate ship. And when the kids had to go into the MRI machine, it was like going underwater. And they would have something that we would call positive response. And it all happens because of one principle. Don't think your way to clarity. Act your way to clarity. Because creators aren't people who sit around waiting for inspiration. Creators are people who move, even when the path is blurry. Especially when the path is blurry. Section 4. Creativity begins with seeing. And here's the trap most people fall into. We try to invent ideas from the inside of our own heads. And I can see that in many requests of people asking about drawing from imagination. But what they don't understand is they need to go out in the world and live the world and observe the world before they can imagine it again. It's like trying to paint something that you have never seen in your life. So it's important to understand that real creativity begins with empathy. Empathy for the world. Because creativity is not guesswork. Creativity is noticing what others ignore. So if you want ideas, go outside, watch, listen, study the world. Your next breakthrough isn't inside of your brain. It's hiding inside of someone else's experience. You want to write a comic book story? Sit in a cafe and observe. See if you can see an interesting or funny or weird story that you can portray. If you watched that video so far, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel in order to support any future videos like this. Thank you so much. Section 5. The spark and how to make ideas flow. There is a myth that creative people are constantly inspired. That's absolutely not true. Most of my days I have to force myself into creativity. But I know the moment I start with drawing, the moment I put the pen down, I'm getting warm, I'm getting into it, I have no expectation. After the third or fifth drawing, I'm into creative mode. And I do whatever helps me to get in there. If it's my creative routine, putting on the music, or creating an environment that makes me creative. Because creative people simply expose themselves to more inputs than others. The spark happens when you collide to unexpected ideas. But you can't collide ideas you don't have. You need to understand that. So the most creative people travel, read books, talk to strangers, try new hobbies, study different industries, and also sometimes say yes to unusual experience. You need to feed your brain with raw material, and the brain magically assembles them into ideas later. It's a similar process as if we are dreaming at night. Your creativity is not dry. You might just be starving it. Section 6. Creativity can be a team sport. When I was teaching classes, I often liked to give group assignments because I noticed one important thing. When you give people a task, they operate in their own little universe. But if you put them into a group, all these universes are colliding. I wanted the students to have an exchange of ideas. And often I needed to explain them in the beginning that no idea is stupid during the creative phase. Just think about the person who might suggest attaching a toothbrush to a power drill. Probably a lot of people laughed about it. And guess what? This ridiculous idea eventually helped lead to early electric toothbrush designs. But when I heard this in uni for the first time, it was completely clear for me. When you remove judgment, imagination becomes limitless. Great teams use yes and instead of no but, because nothing kills creativity faster than criticism in early stages. If you ever been shut down mid-idea, you know the pain. But imagine having a space where every idea is welcome, even the wild ones. These are the ones we want, because that's where innovation lives. Section 7. Becoming the kind of person who creates. There's a moment towards the end of the book that hits really hard. Because there's written, creative confidence is not built in a day. It's built in repetition. So the best analogy for this, it's like going to the gym. You don't wake up with muscles, you build them, one rep at a time. And creativity works the same way. That means you have to build some powerful habits. For example, write 5 ideas a day. They can be terrible. They can be weird. They can be impossible. You are training your brain to generate, not to judge. Or make one small thing a week. A sketch, a drawing, a model, a draft, a mock-up, a video. Small creations build big confidence over time. You can also dedicate 20 minutes a day to learning something new. New input means new output. Each week you do one small creative action that scares you. You maybe post an idea, you share your sketch, you ask for feedback, or you even publish something imperfect. Because here's the truth. Confidence isn't the prerequisite for creativity. Creativity is the prerequisite for confidence. So if you've been telling yourself you're not creative, you're simply wrong. Not because I said so, because science said so, or IDEO said so, or the book is saying it. Anyways, your inner child, the one who's used to draw with reckless joy, knows that too. Because creativity isn't a gift only a few have. Creativity is something that you can own. You just forgot how to use it. And today, maybe you got remembered. Feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.